Hi, this is Tom Kane, the voice of Jedi Master Yoda. And this is Inside the Force. Listen, you will. Foreseen it I have, yes.
It is a period of Star Wars mania, as new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
Welcome back, everyone, inside the Force. Dave Cottingham here, and as always, across from me, Casey Cooley.
Hello, everybody.
And we've got a very debatable discussion.
Yes.
Reporting.
It's a big day.
Yeah, it is a big day. Episode to talk about today. And to join us in that conversation, we've got somebody on the line. Huge Star Wars fan, one of Casey's best friends. I was in his wedding, in fact.
I was in his wedding, too.
Wedding,
yeah,
in fact.
you know, tit for tat.
Cody Guiler. Cody, welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone. It's good to be here.
Finally,
Glad
right?
to be back.
No, I think you've been. I think you've been on the show, haven't you?
Second time.
Yeah,
yes, it's been a while.
Gosh.
Maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know.
That was early on.
We've only been doing the show for 2 years.
Well, it was early on, though. It was like...
No, it was. And it was when we were doing it at Chad's house,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah, he came over to Chad's basement,
Yes.
and we did it there. At least one episode.
When you were still living, you guys were in college, I think, still, right?
Yeah, right? Is that right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, it had to have been.
Cool.
I guess because we started doing the show when you were your last
Yeah.
year, I think, maybe.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, Cody's coming to us from Washington, I believe, right?
The D.C.
Washington, D.C.
Washington,
specifically, yes.
D.C.
Yeah,
Yeah, not
the
Washington State. Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't. We don't even know about that. So,
We're actually not even a state here, so
you're
that's
not.
great.
District.
That's right.
There you go.
No.
Well, we are in the state of Versailles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're Wildcat State is where we are.
Again, thanks for joining us on here, Cody. We've got a ton of stuff to go over. I think, especially, I definitely want to get your opinions on a lot of stuff that's really dropped over the past few months or even the past year with all the changes and what's been going on with Star Wars and Disney and
Right.
It's a great time to be a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
That's
It
all I can
is.
say right now. I mean,
We're spoiled right now. I feel like we're going to be spoiled every year now.
yeah,
Like,
and this is
nuts.
good actually because we haven't had a guest on here outside of
Us.
the normal dudes, you
Yeah.
know. So I've got, I'm going to get to it later, but I've got a question that I want to ask every one of our guests, and Cody,
Yeah.
you will be the first to get this.
Dude, I don't even know
We've got
this.
it. You don't, and it's it's key for Star Wars fans. So,
All right.
so let's just get into it. We're not going to really go through each, category of Star Wars.
Like medium, like we usually do.
Correct.
Like
yeah.
TV.
Because really,
all that
there's
kind
not
of
much going on in Rebels yet. Obviously, premiere's coming in September.
stuff.
Books, things are hitting huge. I mean, everything's coming in September.
Yeah.
You got the comics coming out, the Force Awakens, Journey of the Force
Oh,
Awakens
toys.
comics. Toys are coming. They've already had
Force Friday.
Force Friday.
Force Friday, yeah. They've already got banners up in Toys R Us and
Really?
stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
They've got like coming
That's great. Yeah.
September 3rd, I think it is, 3rd or 4th.
Third, I think, yeah.
Third.
Third or fourth. I'm not sure.
Wherever
this Friday.
Yeah. You got the
I
big
think it's September 4th, actually.
Yeah.
September 4th. And then you got the
believe
big Aftermath novel that's coming in September, which is going to set up a lot of what's happening in Episode 7. So,
Yeah.
or like we talked about last episode, the 7th episode. Not Episode 7.
Oh, yeah.
The 7th episode.
They're not really calling it Star Wars Episode 7. Force Awakens. It's just the 7th episode of Star Wars called
Yes.
The Force Awakens. Like, it's really weird. Like, Cody, have you seen like because last episode we talked about the new steel cover Blu-rays for the saga?
I have. Yes, I listened to your last episode, and I actually saw those. Really interesting.
Yeah.
When I saw they were re-releasing, I was really hoping for something new in terms of like how the cut was,
Right.
but the artwork on it is pretty cool.
Yeah. But in they don't show any episode numbers.
Yeah, so what do you think about the episode numbers kind of getting dropped?
I mean, I've always been like the episode numbers have always been a big part of it because I wasn't alive when the original trilogy came out, and so calling them 4, 5, and 6, and 1, 2, and 3 has always been a normal part of my sort of fandom. That's true. And I still see this as episode 7. I mean, I think that's how I refer to it a lot of the time. I'm trying to now train and think about calling it The Force Awakens. But I do think it's smart how they've done all the marketing and even just the logo and the simplistic posters they've done is just Star Wars The Force Awakens.
Right.
You don't have to feel like you have to catch up on 6 other movies to go see this one and be a part of it. And, if you're a fan and follow the episodes and the numbers or whatever, like obviously where it falls in, but
But you should watch the 6 movies before you go see
really
this.
Should. Totally.
But yeah, that's so interesting.
But what's funny is if you think back, what's the first image we got in production?
What do you mean? Like what footage they shot?
Yes. Remember the first image that got released was the slate that had episode 7 on it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Even Pinewood Studios had episode 7.
Yeah.
Now, according
to
now possibly the name hadn't been devised yet. You know what I mean, or thought of yet. But it was episode 7.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
they have those 7 hats, the crew hats, like the black ones with the 7 on it.
Yeah, but and it just seems like they are shifting to just calling them Star Wars : and then whatever the title is, So anyway, it doesn't bother me, honestly. I mean, if you want to be honest, I don't think they'll ever really drop them. But if you want to just start calling them Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, Star Wars: A New Hope, Star Wars: The Force Awakens, that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, we'll just get into all this news that's really been coming up, which will obviously lead to a bunch of things that we'll get Cody's opinion on. So, what do you want to get into first, Case?
Well, I guess we can do kind of one of the big things that happened a few days ago was that Korean TV spot.
Oh,
the first TV spot we've got for The Force Awakens. Nothing new except for the very first shot of this little spot.
The coolest 2-second reveal ever.
What the heck? This shot speaks volumes, I feel like. Yeah, so if you watch it, I mean, it's everywhere, and it's official. It's not a leaked thing. So you can go look it up. Just Korean TV spot for The Force Awakens. Basically, it opens up with an amazing, wide vista shot of what is Starkiller Base. Right? This is Starkiller Base?
That's right.
Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
It's been confirmed at Comic-Con,
And you see, it's a shot that we've seen a different angle of in the previous trailers.
The reverse.
The reverse side, like the shot where we're on like an icy, rocky kind of planet. You see all the stormtroopers facing one way, they turn, like do a 180 turn, that kind of thing. And in the background, you see a big platform with like some Imperials standing on there, that huge First Order.
Big banners.
Yeah, banners, all that kind of stuff. Well, this is the opposite side of it. This is from the platform point of view, looking out towards the endless masses of stormtroopers. Like, this shot is incredible. Like, I love the coloring and all of it. And I love the whatever kind of context it could be, and just the pure epic scale of what we are seeing. I feel like this is like Clone Wars scale of like just an endless sea of people. Like,
yes.
I loved it. Like, what do you guys think? Like, Dave, what do you think? Or Cody, whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, Cody.
I just felt like when I saw this, I don't know, Casey, if you remember when we saw teaser number 2, my favorite shot, and I think it still might be my Twitter like sort of background thing, is the shot of the stormtroopers turning around, huge red first order banner,
right? And
you're not really sure who's standing on the stage. That was my favorite shot of that teaser, and it was interesting because it's very not Lucas-esque at all, but it just felt like Star Wars, and it just felt like you just said, it kind of reminds you of Clone Wars in a way, but it's doing it in a way that you realize like this is going to be maybe even the height of what the galactic sort of civil war is.
Right. Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Like it's going to be worse than it was in the original trilogy, I feel like. I mean, you've got a lesser sort of maybe planned out villain leading. We're not really sure who's leading the First Order at this point.
Right.
And man, it just looks so cool. And obviously very Nazi Germany-esque in some ways, and there's a lot of that red in there, and a lot of like just bleak sort of stark gray and stuff. it's just great imagery, I feel like.
Yeah, and really, like, the one thought I had, like, almost immediately when I saw it was just, like, because all these questions about, what, the Empire being gone, is it back, that kind of thing. Like, this, like, it's Empire, or I guess the First Order, it's here. They did not go away. 30 years, it just grew and grew and grew, it looks like. Like, which I'm so curious.
And that's what I was gonna point out. Because everything is non-canon now.
Yeah.
And we only have the movies to go by. We truly don't know how many stormtroopers there really were.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, because there were so many Star Destroyers, and there was governors and Moffs out there.
Yeah.
There were Imperial, there were pilots. There were
troops on planet.
Yes, there was all types of Imperials.
Yeah.
How if you equate it to maybe our army or something like that, American Army, you only have several thousand stormtroopers, right?
Yeah.
Possibly. I don't. That's the thing. We don't know.
Yeah.
So, so that scale of showing that maybe in the original trilogy, I don't know if there was ever really need, because, I mean, the whole idea was that they were going to have this Death Star that really threw fear in everybody. They weren't going to need anybody. They got rid of the Senate. The governors were in charge of their, everybody's, all the planets and stuff like that. So to see this, it does exactly what you said. I think it shows that the Empire didn't stop after Episode 6. Mm-hmm. It just kept growing, and
it might be stronger.
It might even be stronger. Absolutely,
with the Emperor dying, that might have been a rallying point.
Yeah.
As far as, think of if that actually happened in today's society, a death like that in a major sort of place, it might have just made them all come together a little stronger. I mean, obviously now they don't necessarily have a Sith that we know of leading them, but...
Well, absolutely, because... Well, and that's the thing, too, is like... That's a good thing I wanted to bring up, too. In episodes 4, 5, and 6, or even after the Clone Wars, even after the Empire began on Empire Day, how many people actually knew about the Sith?
Yeah, I knew that Sidious was
correct.
He can use the Force, and then the dark side.
Totally,
that's true.
Who knew that?
Yeah,
besides Vader, obviously.
Yeah,
everybody, and I don't even know who knew that Vader was a former Jedi.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't know really any of that. So, who's to say? Because think about it. If this is similar to if you think of the scenario that, what if Tarkin wasn't on the first Death Star, and Palpatine was? Mm-hmm. It's fair to say that the Empire would have continued on with Tarkin.
Yeah.
Because he's just as ruthless
as
Palpatine, if not more, almost, in a sense, right? So you're right. I think this shows that somebody stepped up after Palpatine died and Vader died, and they were like, you know what? We know what Palpatine wanted out of this, and this is the way the world is now. Let's do this. So
it just grew beyond him. It's like, this is not Palpatine. This is the Empire. We gotta keep it going. It's crazy. Like,
they're only still rebels. They're not a government. You know what I mean? They were a rebellion,
right?
And everything that they had was right there by Endor. That was it. The whole fleet was there. Everybody was on the planet. That's it. So it wasn't like they controlled the galaxy yet.
Yeah.
Because, like we said in the beginning of that book, Aftermath, which is incredible, that celebration on Coruscant that you barely see at the episode 6, like that was the only time that people were celebrating. Because right after that, the police and the Empire still took over and wiped those people out, basically.
Very excited to read that and see what happens.
That's the cool thing about some of these things coming out with the Journey to Force Awakens is Shattered Empire, the comic, and then Aftermath. Just I'm more excited, I think, about Shattered Empire. Maybe because I kind of like comics more than books, which might be kind of sad. But,
hey, that's it.
I think from what I read, Shattered Empire, does it take place 6 months after the Battle of Endor? Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't know the exact time of Shattered Empire. I know Aftermath is directly after.
It like picks up during that celebration. Correct.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I'll look up Shattered Empire, but I'm not sure about that.
Those things are going to be super interesting to follow and see how the Empire is sort of either rallied or how the war raged on. Just the fact that this war has been going on for 25 to 30 years is going to be really fascinating, because that means a lot of just very tired rebels that have now become resistance fighters.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, the idea of the Sith not even being a memory, and it wasn't necessarily even something people knew in the original trilogy, other than what Obi-Wan may have told Luke about.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
I mean, just the idea of Jedi and the Force being a mystery again is something I've been really excited about. As far as watching even the TV show Rebels, they've done a really good job with it there. And then going into The Force Awakens, how they're going to use it. Obviously, it seems like there's not an overabundance of Jedi like there were in the prequel trilogy. And I think that mystery of the Force is going to be prevalent, and it's going to be really exciting.
Absolutely. I love like little things too, like what they've been doing with these movies and books and even like shows with Rebels, like taking just a simple idea of Star Wars, like the fact, not necessarily simple maybe, but like the Death Star blew up, Emperor died, leader of the Empire, but these filmmakers, these writers are just asking themselves like, what if it went on? What if it kept going? What if the Empire just kept going? What would have happened? Because you logically would think, okay, it might have died out. Luke, this powerful Jedi, would have somehow, I don't know, he might have helped bring back, why didn't he help? There's so many questions. Why didn't he help the rebels more? Why is, I feel like logically it should have happened another way, but that's why I'm so interested to see why the Empire kept going. How this happened. So it's just mind-boggling. I'm very excited. Yeah.
So what's next?
Next, kind of trends, I guess, well, maybe let me look through here the list of what's going on, because Entertainment Weekly, because I think we can just kind of go in the order that this news has been coming out.
Well, I'll just spin off of what you just said there, because I think one of the things I wanted to make sure I didn't forget mentioning was I loved the beginning of that article, that EW article, where Kathleen Kennedy explains about how she got J.J. Abrams to direct the movie.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's awesome.
Because, we all read the reports that he turned it down. Like he's doing the Star Trek trilogy or he's working on the third movie, blah, blah, blah. Actually, I think he was just finishing up the second movie. It was when he got approached. So, which was Into Darkness, right? So Kennedy approaches him. He says, "No, not interested." And she says in the article, she kept pressing, and she just asked him one question.
Yeah.
And that question was, "Who is Luke Skywalker?"
Ooh.
And Abrams says in there, like, he got chills and immediately said yes. Like, that was it. Like, that's,
Because
who is Luke Skywalker?
Yeah, she knew that would be a good character.
But that's exactly what you just said, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if 30 years from now there's still a war going on, what happened to Luke Skywalker, the ultimate Jedi, the guy that could defeat Vader and not succumb to the dark side, and he's supposed to be one of the most powerful Jedis ever now, and it's like, how could he not help, completely establish the new? And we don't know if the New Republic actually came about, or if there was another Republic at all. But, that's a. I mean, Kathleen Kennedy has always been high on my list as producers, and she just topped the list there. I guess that's an ultimate question to get somebody to direct a movie.
Yeah. That's
so cool.
Awesome.
This article was so fun reading some of just the quotes between Kennedy and Abrams. I felt like this just so.
Is this so? This has already been published, right? The issue that this is in.
I don't think so.
Or is that like?
I think it's the next issue coming out.
The magazine actually drops tomorrow.
Yeah,
and I think that's the case.
If you had a subscription, you probably got it already.
Yeah,
but
because there were photos released with the article. A lot of it was new stuff. I'm pretty sure the preview, because we're recording this before the issue came out. So there might be some new photos in the issue that we haven't seen yet. But so far, what we have seen, there's only a few new things. Just different shots of some of the other characters, that kind of stuff. Of Gleason's character, who's Captain Rux. Is that right?
General
Rux?
It's General Hux.
Hux. There you go. Thank you.
Hux with an H. Yes.
Hux. He shot of him on I guess a Star Destroyer or something like that, looking menacing, of course. So cool stuff there.
Yeah, there's a really good one I liked. I loved. It's Finn and Ray, and they're running from the troopers in the background. And it's funny because at first when you glance at that shot, like those stormtroopers, they definitely haven't been on that planet because they're really clean. So they look like they just landed, because the sand troopers, are always they're just armor looks all roughed up from being on Tatooine, right?
Right.
So this on Jakku, it looks like these guys are. So there's a reason, obviously, which if you kind of tell from the trailers, I guess, either this is after Finn has put on the stormtrooper outfit, or if he's already taken it off and they're coming after him.
Yeah.
But it's a very, very cool shot because it's just a lot telling going in, and I think this is kind of preceding or maybe it's after the, in the trailer, the
TIE
fighters attacking them and all that stuff. Yeah, so it's around that same time. It looks like
you got a really cool shot. Looks like a promo shot of Kylo Ren. You got some other stuff with troopers.
Yeah,
some Finn with his crashed TIE fighter. Rey.
That shot of Finn and the TIE fighter is really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so interesting because I was looking at it because I was wondering. I kind of had guessed from that scene when they showed him as a stormtrooper and him on the desert planet before we knew it was Jakku, and thinking he probably crash lands, and I was thinking the ship will probably end up being CG, and it almost looks like it's a real thing on in Abu Dhabi where they filmed it,
right?
And it just looks really awesome.
They've done a fantastic job with all their practicals. It's nuts. Like all these creatures. Like there's a shot of Rey untangling BB-8 there on some creature, some
mechanical.
It looks like
something that's covered in it.
Covered in like armor or some mechanical thing, and like it's just nuts. Like I feel like we're really gonna see Star Wars kind of how in an ironic way how George Lucas wanted it to be shown, like all the variety of creatures, characters, that kind of thing, which is incredible.
I love that they're making new ones too.
Yes,
the fact that it's set in a time that we're familiar with, but yet almost all the creatures they showed in the Vanity Fair article, and even this one that we're talking about, where it's got Rey and it's got this big. It's called in the article the Lugga Beast or whatever.
Oh, really?
I just think it's so cool because you're like, I've never seen that creature that's underneath, and why is there armor? Is this planet one of those sort of? It's really rough, kind of like Tatooine, and you've got this strange little guy on top riding it. And it's just really neat to see all these new things that we don't know about.
Yeah, so many new characters to learn. I love it. Like more trivia, more mindless Star Wars trivia to memorize of characters' names. But we lastly, we got a shot of Poe Dameron in there, but we've already seen that one before. And then we got an official shot of C-3PO and R2-D2 together, complete with C-3PO's new red arm. So weird. Like, it's, like, what happened?
Didn't you say he had a black arm at one point?
There was one... Because at first, I saw a red one. I saw a photo with him with a red arm. But then that behind-the-scenes featurette came out from... When the World Convention was that? I forgot the behind the scenes featurette. That really awesome.
Oh, that was at Comic-Con.
That was at Comic-Con?
Yeah,
right?
Comic-Con.
So, but in that we saw C-3PO. It looked like he had a black arm to me. I'll be honest. It looked like it was like a really dark, kind of bronzish looking arm. So I wasn't sure.
Maybe he loses the red one and gets a black one.
He interchange it. That's it's like a flamethrower arm. That's the other one's like a cool, like strong arm. I don't know. But
Star Wars Episode 7, C-3PO's mini arm.
He's stacked. He's gonna be awesome fighting all this kind of stuff. But no, so yeah, I'm wrong. It is an officially it's red. He has a red arm. So
now, does he not have the silver leg? Looks like
doesn't look like it.
Looks like he's got the gold legs, both of them now.
Yeah. So it's fix one thing, break another.
Yeah, I mean,
poor guy. But no, so that's the EW
great.
article. Issue looks amazing. The cover has Kylo Ren in it. It just looks phenomenal.
Now, did you, Cody, see the leaked shot of Luke Skywalker?
Of course I did. I mean, so as far as leaks go, I'm really worried around this time because, we've kind of gotten some information. We've gotten 2 teasers. We're waiting for a full trailer. And, kind of worried about getting things spoiled. But when you see the headline, first look at Luke Skywalker, you have to click on it.
Yeah. Immediately.
I'm just shocked that whoever got this photo got it out, because I don't know if anybody else has seen it, but Mark Hamill is definitely looking at the person taking this photo.
He is.
So they knew this photo was being taken, and it doesn't look like it's official. Man.
I mean, we've seen this kind of setting before with the other character posters, I feel like. These little unofficially leaked things with these other minor characters and some of the major characters, like they're in like a white studio kind of thing. So,
well, what's curious, though, is, I don't know if you've noticed, but they've got stands all around them, and each of them have 4 cameras on the stands.
Yeah, like, look like DSLRs. They look like Nikons or Canons or something.
I don't know if they're trying to, if this is almost like a figure, like they're capturing every angle, to make a figure or something, or sculpt a statue. I don't know, because it doesn't look like just a simple photo shoot for a poster, because you just don't need a front camera for that, or whatever, right? Yeah, they're trying to get a full 360 body image of him,
and he's like posing too. It looks like he's like got some face, some kind of like look about it that they told him to do. Like, at first I immediately thought of like bullet time Matrix of all the cameras and stuff like that, but I think the toy angle is more believable.
Yeah, I think these this amount and the way it's set up is more for capturing an image for 3D modeling or for I don't know if it's just, I don't know how they're using these. I don't know if it's just to know what every single detail of each character and costume looks like.
True.
But it doesn't quite look like anything they used in the Matrix as far as we're gonna see. Cool. And obviously because he's just in a simple studio.
Yeah.
But still really cool.
Yeah.
Now his robe looks a little lighter than what's in the trailer. If that's him,
the cloak that he's wearing. Yeah.
That looks
the
a
outer
lot darker.
Cloak does. The underneath looks like it could match the shot of whoever's got the robotic hand touching R2, which I kind of assumed would be Luke anyway.
We actually see the
it's got to be, that's got to be
the
him.
Underneath cloak looks like it's that sort of whitish, really light color, but the outer part doesn't seem to match up with the shot in the teaser.
Yeah, I mean,
he looks a lot like Obi-Wan.
Oh my gosh,
it's Obi-Wan, just a little bit brighter.
Yeah.
And there's like looks like a little, I don't know, gray or something. There's some other little color, like lapel he's got going on.
It's like
tunic.
the white.
Yeah.
Where, he's got like the white strips coming down, which is kind of reminiscent of Anakin. I think Anakin had, that's where he had
like
the black
and brown kind of thing.
Yeah, he had the black and brown going on when he turned. But this is...
He looks majestic.
This is exactly what I wanted him to look like.
I didn't think he would look like this.
Really?
I mean, I was picturing like almost close to what he had before, a little older, maybe something. I mean, like Obi-Wan, but just a little more rugged. I don't know, but like if he's been isolated for so many years, but this is like mythical, like
that's
Gandalf
true.
the White.
This looks
kind
like
of thing.
I just started the Jedi Temple.
Yeah,
Luke. That's what he looks like.
Yes.
I mean, he looks like he is Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
and I agree with you, Casey. I thought that it was going to be this dark old hermit Luke.
Yeah,
who because that's just sort of the rumors we've heard. But this kind of threw me for a loop, and I'm actually excited by it. It makes me. I mean, and again, we don't know if he has a wardrobe change or if this is one part of the film or another. But he looks like right here he's the Jedi Master. That's sort of we've always wanted to see.
Wait a minute.
What's up? You got an epiphany.
I got an epiphany.
An apostrophe. What's happening here?
Is it possible that this is actually a promo shot or pre-production shots for episode 8?
That's a possibility. Sure. Yeah, because they would be doing that.
This was recently taken, not taken when they were shooting episode 7. Like this was just recently taken. That's why it's leaked now.
Yeah.
That they could be setting up doing wardrobe tests, because to be honest, you would take pictures of somebody all the way around for wardrobe to make sure the continuity is the same all around them. So someone can look at their back, their sides, their fronts when they're redoing wardrobe when they go shoot.
So this is like maybe this
is
something
could be a
that he
wardrobe
at the very
test.
end of 7, like he transitioned, like a thing, like just to make sure they had the same wardrobe when they start.
Like you said, he may be more rugged in 7, and then he comes out of The Force Awakens.
He buys some new clothes.
He gets cleaned up, and on episode 8, he's kind of in the spotlight again, because
so this could be what he wears at the very end of the film or something.
Maybe.
For
yes,
7
or just
throughout 8.
or not until 8.
Right.
Because
definitely.
because I'm telling you, this whole time, it's always been, at least I feel like we've heard nothing about Episode 7 except this is a Han Solo movie.
Yeah.
Right? That this is Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Han Solo, and Chewbacca. Those are the images we see all over right now.
Yeah.
Them in the cockpit, them talking, them running from the Empire, blah, 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 or the First Order. No one knows what's going on with Luke Skywalker. Right? No one really even knows where Leia is yet. So all of a sudden you get this article, this EW article, and what's the question? Who is Luke Skywalker?
Yeah.
So to me, you're right there. You're telling me, okay, this whole trilogy is about Luke Skywalker and probably his offspring,
maybe,
or his or his descendants or something. That's because then you're talking. Yes, then you're talking. Okay, the original trilogy was Anakin. The prequel trilogy, Anakin. The original trilogy is his kids, and this has got to be about him and his kids, or Leia's kids with him. I don't know, something, but I think it is going to eventually be more of a Luke Skywalker thing once we get to 8 and 9, which then again also lends to the theory that possibly there is a death in Episode 7, and maybe it is Han Solo.
Yeah, I'm still kind of holding to that, honestly.
Now, I told you, remember this whole time, ever since they announced it, and you tell me how you think about this, Cody, because I've been leaning towards ever since the beginning, which I'm changing now, I think.
Yeah.
But I had always thought Episode 7, we were going to see the death of Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Because he was going to be kind of the master.
Yeah.
Just like Qui-Gon.
Right.
Just like Obi-Wan.
Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan.
And then I thought he's got to bite it at the end of 7.
Yeah.
And then which drives the hero for the next trilogy on.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think that's true anymore.
Well, I think... go ahead.
Go ahead, Casey. No, you go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think now it could be Han Solo, because that kind of goes into the new rumors or potential speculation about Rey and Kylo Ren. Although it's like rumors that's been going around, but it's kind of got some new circulation now with some new stuff that we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah, they're the kids.
So Daddy dies, sparks the daughter into action. I don't know. So
and he comes out of hiding to train.
Yeah. Boom. What are you going to say?
Did we just write Episode 7?
We did it. But we actually wrote it, guys. Where we just
why hasn't Kathleen Kennedy called?
Yeah.
I saw a number. I just kind of dismissed it. It might have been her.
It was a California number. I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't answer numbers I don't know either. So we could have just ignored the call a long time ago and not even known it in our dreams, right?
Right.
I always. I think the Luke thing would have made the most sense as far as Luke dying in Episode 7, especially if it was a continuation of Lucas's stories, and I bet that would have been his original plan. If you looked back at his treatment, I would almost guarantee that there was some sort of passing of the torch, and not necessarily him dying in 7 in his original, because they would have been a lot younger, but around this age, this idea of Luke being the Obi-Wan, being the Qui-Gon, the master that passes on the knowledge of the Force, but not quite enough of it, and then sort of gets fizzled out too soon and becomes a Force ghost. But with everything they've been doing recently, with Han Solo being just so much more involved, and it's seemingly they've mentioned that he's a lead actor alongside these younger people, and with Harrison's sort of past and Kasdan writing this with Abrams, and Harrison always wanting Han Solo to die in Empire Strikes Back and then Return of the Jedi, and never quite getting that to happen.
Right.
It just feels like the writing's on the wall for Han to go down in the Falcon, or sacrificing himself, maybe for his daughter, or maybe his son. I don't know.
I can already feel the tears coming.
And
I ain't gonna lie, I would cry.
Solo standalone, it feels like they're just gearing up for him to go out in a blaze of glory, and then take us back for one more trip with Han Solo after that. I think it's going to be Han dying at the end of 7.
And I think it'll go something like you said, like a real dignified, like he's facing the fact that he's about to die, and he just accepts it and just goes right into it, like save the day by his sacrifice. Like it's almost like I feel like it will be if if our listeners are EU fans, they read anything from the New Jedi Order, the first book in that where spoiler alert, but it's not canon anymore, and nor was it. But when Chewbacca dies in the first book of that series, he dies in a very just glorified manner, like literally a moon is crushing on top of him, like this moon is colliding with a planet, and Chewbacca's on it, and he's like screaming at the moon, like roaring. It's very epic and very like manly kind of thing. So I hope it's something like that where it is like a real heavy moment. You just feel it ripple throughout the rest of the that third act or whenever it happens, maybe. But it will just I do definitely agree. I feel like it definitely will be Han Solo, but who knows?
Odds are one of the big three is going to die. I think that's pretty good odds, at least.
Yeah.
As Han would say, never tell me the odds, though.
There you go. Yeah, he may say that.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I will tear up.
Oh my gosh, you kidding me, man?
Freaking tear up for that, because that is. Yeah. Especially I'm getting teary eyed just thinking about it, to be honest. Because you want to come out with a bang.
Mm-hmm.
You want to return Star Wars to the theatrical level again, and you do something like that. That is that's strong, and that's. But I love JJ's movies, and
yes,
I'm not a Star Trek fan, but I'm a fan of those movies that he's done. So it's they get it. There's very emotional parts in those movies. But
yes,
you can't tell me the very beginning of Star Trek,
the first one.
Yes,
yeah.
Like,
oh man,
that's tears.
Yes.
That's tears.
Like he's good at that. It's Super 8. Are you kidding me?
Oh
Super
man,
8?
Absolutely.
Get out of here with your.
I still 10 times after I've seen it, I still cry.
Yeah, he's gonna because there's gonna be like a father son. If these new rumors, which we'll talk about here in a second, of like Kylo Ren being his son or Rey, Rey being the daughter, throwing in this whole father son daughter kind of element to it. Oh, just go ahead, like I'm gonna cry. Just come on, man.
Yeah.
Just, So with that, I guess we'll go ahead and now lead into that part. And with this was, I don't think this was the EW article, but this was an interview with. Well, part of it comes from J.J. Abrams. I think part of it comes from the EW article, but basically, it's all about the names of the characters. J.J. Abrams was asked about the names of these characters, about why we haven't heard the last names yet. I just kind of chalked it up to like, they just won't hear the last names. I don't know. Well, why not?
Palpatine.
Yeah,
you didn't know Palpatine's last name.
His first name. We know his first name.
That's what I'm saying. Well, you thought you didn't know if that Palpatine was his first name or not.
But so J.J. Abrams said that he purposely withheld the last names of Faye. I keep saying Faye. What am I doing?
You're just mixing them together into one character.
Finn and Rey.
I think there's some alcohol in this Sprite I'm drinking right now. But yeah, that's like the celebrity couple name. But
want a cup of Java juice there, Casey?
Yeah. Oh gosh, I gotta go. But Rey and Finn, their last names we have not heard yet. J.J. Abrams says he has not revealed those because it would spoil too much. Immediately, we're all thinking, well, they've got to be someone's son or daughter, that kind of
Solo or Skywalker.
Solo or Skywalker, maybe.
Yeah. Well, Rey makes sense because I think we've always thought she was a Solo. But Finn, when I read that, I was like, oh, they're just leaving off his last name to not make it so weird to leave off Rey's or something.
Right.
But man, I really hope Finn's not a Calrissian.
Calrissian or Kenobi. I don't want that.
I know it's stereotyping, but man,
that'd be so funny.
I think the Finn thing is odd, right? I don't know if that struck you guys as weird as well, but I don't know why you'd pull back on his last name.
I mean, unless J.J. Abrams, of course, J.J. Abrams is a master of, misdirection and mystery boxes, so maybe he's just saying that to misdirect us as a red herring for Finn, but I think Rey's a Solo, is what I think. And then we were thinking, like, well, we got Poe Dameron's name, so, I feel like he is who he is. And
everybody thought Ren was his last name, I guess, right? Everybody's Kylo Ren. Everybody thought
Kylo Ren. Yeah, everybody thought
Ren would be his last name, but it's
isn't
not.
the first last name. Yeah, Cody, you told me about this.
That was Yeah, that was the biggest reveal, I felt like, from the EW article.
Okay.
So there was sort of like a series of articles that they released, and one of them, they broke down some interviews with Abrams, and they talked about how, here's the quote from it. He says, talking about Kylo Ren, he's a character who came to the name Kylo Ren when he joined a group called the Knights of Ren. Man, that just feels like it reveals,
That's a big
but
reveal.
yet Abrams is he's so good at posing questions and making a reveal something even bigger than you even realized. Because now I just have so many more questions.
Right.
Now I know, oh wow, his name might not really be Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
But, who are the Knights of Ren and who is the guy under the mask? Adam Driver, who's he playing?
Yeah. Because Ren's like a surname is how you described it.
I want to know.
That's pretty cool.
If you're J.J. Abrams and you're done shooting and you're hanging out at your house and you got your buddies over, are you telling anybody, like, you know what? I got some stuff I could tell you that I'm not, no one else knows.
His wife, yeah. He's married, right?
Oh, yeah.
So his wife, you got to tell me everything.
Like,
we're married.
You know what? Ren is not his last name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I wonder,
Boom.
how does he, I don't even know how he just, but he's been doing this his whole career.
Yes.
He's been keeping secrets on his, and he done so well keeping his productions under wrap.
Oh my gosh. Like Cloverfield.
Well, how crazy is it we haven't seen Luke until just
Correct.
Perfect.
Like, when we recorded this episode, basically.
Yeah.
And we've only
I mean-
got, and I think we got the similar, didn't we get a similar behind the scenes thing of Leia? That's the only thing we've got of her.
Yeah.
On production, right? She
Yeah.
was like just standing. It wasn't an official pic.
Well, there was the unofficial pic, but we actually saw her a little bit in that behind the scenes featurette too.
Yes,
With
that's right.
Standing with some tall drink of water guy. I don't know who the heck that was, but yeah. So we got a look of her as well, kind of similarly revealed. But this is all quite interesting. Things are picking up a little bit.
I gotta say then, which sounds like we're only getting one more trailer.
Yeah. Seems
Probably
like
late September, early October.
Because that same, I don't know if it was the same interview or not, but yeah, Abrams was asked about any more reveals for the Disney convention coming up, D23. He says we will not be getting any new footage, kind of like the Comic-Con. Well, no, I guess, yeah, but we got some new footage somewhere in Comic-Con.
That's what they said at Comic-Con.
Yeah, nothing really new, but except for behind the scenes
No
things.
trailer. They said no trailer.
Correct. He said no new footage here, probably some photos, that kind of stuff, which is fine by me. He said we'll get a new trailer. I can't remember if he said fall or if he specifically said October, but that's
Abrams said that we would get a trailer in the fall, I believe, was the last thing that I read as a quote from him.
So-
but I don't know if...
So you read
that's
the
been-
fall. So you did read the word fall. Okay.
Yeah, that's as much as I feel like I've heard about it.
Okay. So yeah, one trailer, and I think this will be that theatrical trailer, like more theatrical.
Yeah.
So it's perfect timing. I think a few months out.
And it'll probably be the one and only time we see possibly Leia and hear
Yeah.
Leia and I guess Luke. I guess
Yeah.
you got to show him at least. Maybe not. He didn't really have to say anything, but I think you have to show him. I mean, it has to be some kind of story led. Like what the plot is.
Yeah.
Because right now we just don't know. I mean, you're not getting anything right now. And that was the beauty of that. And that was the beauty. I remember I read some people commenting on that Korean, which was just odd that was a Korean TV spot put out. But people were commenting like, it's so crazy how you can take all of the images that we've already seen, basically, besides that first one, put a different score on it.
Yeah.
And it just makes you feel, it just feels differently, even though it's the same images, So
they cut it together really nice.
it's awesome. We should get a lot in this next trailer for sure.
Very cool. I guess the next piece of news, we can kind of quickly talk about this. It's not too revealing. They talked about, they revealed, it's been leaked, some of the toys that are coming out for episode 7. People have been kind of snapping some pictures of it. It's pretty much, I'm trying to scroll through to this picture that shows all of them. There's about, I think, 12 or so toys that were revealed. And most of them are characters, they have the Finn action figure, they have the Rey action figure, Kylo Ren. They actually have I mean, it's like of course, it's Darth Vader's not in this film, but they have Darth Vader, an older like a Empire Strikes Back Luke Skywalker. They have the new stormtroopers. They have Captain Phasma. Some other characters there, Chewbacca, like that. Let's see, but they have a couple different characters that we haven't really seen yet. One is just a Resistance trooper. Has like a cool little get up there. It's not your typical rebel look. And then another character, let me see if I can find his name really quick. It's a character, if you can find these images, they're all over the place. It's a guy, he's got like this, he looks like a bounty hunter. He looks like this bounty hunter from Clone Wars. But his name, I don't know why this is being weird for me right now. My iPad's being a little weird. But it's a new character that we haven't seen yet. And his name is Constable. Trying to find his second part of his name there. It's Constable something. But yeah, so it shows some new characters and some of the same characters we've been seeing. Nothing too revealing really. So, you can look at these safely, people, if you're trying to avoid spoilers, I think. There's some text on the back of the cards people are taking pictures of that kind of give a brief history of some of these characters. I've only seen it for Finn and Kylo Ren, Captain Phasma, that kind of thing. So do be careful if you want to know absolutely nothing about it. But just so you know, this stuff is out there. Seems pretty cool. Seems like pretty cool action figures that we'll be getting next month.
Man, I'm an adult and I want these toys because they're so. I mean, I know they're all going to be really cool.
Yeah. But would you buy them? Would you take them out of the box and set them up and play with them though, or would you be like the guy that keeps it in the box and makes it?
That's a tough question.
Yeah. I know Dave, he likes to keep it in the box.
I know. I think I want that Kylo Ren. I would keep that in the box probably because I have a Maul and a Star Killer and a Vader still in the box kind of stuff. So, I bought that. I told you I bought that Black Series Vader. I don't think I want to take him out of the box. Oh
yeah, those Black Series toys, man, are phenomenal.
Well, and they're making Black Series ones of these too.
Yeah, I saw the Stormtrooper one, the new one that was.
Well, the article I think you're looking at should have they've got a Finn model already. Really? They've got a Rey model.
Yeah.
I think a Chewbacca one as well. So they're doing the Black Series ones too. I think.
Yeah.
That's gonna be awesome.
And that character that I've been trying to find, his name is Constable Zuvio. And he looks like
Zuvio.
Sounds like a cool
club. Star Warsy, enough.
Yeah. Let's go to Club Zuvio. But looks like a bounty hunter. Looks like that one from Clone Wars. I can't remember his name. It's like something with an E, but Star Wars names are weird. So cool stuff. Toys. Anything other piece of news that I might be missing? Anything at all? I think that's pretty much all the big stuff regarding the movies, at least. There's some talk about some of the books, like some official synopsis for Aftermath. Talking about Knights of the Old Republic, although it's not canon. I know the company that made the game wants to update it for the new consoles, for like Xbox One and potentially even for PS4. Awesome, because that game was awesome. Cody, did you ever play KOTOR in those games? I don't think I actually ever asked you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
KOTOR 2.
Yeah.
I loved KOTOR 2. I think I started with that one, and then I went back and played KOTOR.
Yeah.
Really great games, even though they're not canon. Still really great games. If you haven't played it, I'd recommend it. Absolutely.
I bought the game for the Mac on my MacBook, and that's awesome. It's just an awesome game. So I'll be excited.
Oh yeah, I think they're on Steam right now, aren't they?
Really? No, I didn't know that, but yeah, then probably that's awesome. And I'm excited to see how they change it. If they change anything, maybe it's just more of a graphic type of thing. They update the graphics, make it more, the playability of it kind of more seamless. So very cool there. Dave, are we missing anything else in any other section of Star Wars news?
I don't think so. I mean, the figures are only kind of the other thing I was looking at. So I think that's pretty much all the stuff that's really come out this past week.
Very cool.
I mean, besides that, really, we read Lando #2, brief review of that.
Thing. Lando #2, I liked Lando #1. I think it started off really well. Ended up a cool cliffhanger. This picks up right after that with the arc. Still, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think this is a pretty fun little arc that we're seeing with Lando, and once again, like I'm just so shocked to see his companion Lobot doing the things that he's doing, namely just talking, first of all, because he didn't talk at all in Empire Strikes Back. Seeing him have a personality and banter with Lando, this kind of stuff, it's so funny, and it's so much fun to read. And just the situation that they're involved with, involving the Emperor, and it's actually kind of suspenseful. It's puts me on the edge. It's really cool. I mentioned see the end of this arc, where it'll go, because Lando's in some deep stuff, some deep bantha poodoo right now, and really cool to see how it turns out. And the art's cool too. I like the art for this comic.
Yeah,
too.
I'm not so much into the art,
really,
but I love Charles Soule as a writer.
Yeah.
He has been a part of a lot of my favorite books over the past couple of years.
Yeah,
he wrote Swamp Thing for a while on DC after Snyder got off of it. He was on Red Lanterns for a while. He's just written some fantastic books. So when I heard he was going to read this, I knew it was going to be good. And this is really, really good.
Yeah.
What's going on right now in this book, and kind of seeing where Lando's going. And it's funny, in this episode or this issue, you find out that he has already lost the Millennium Falcon.
that's true. Yeah.
So, when this happens, I don't think we know exactly when this is.
Yeah.
But we know that the Falcon's not his.
There you go. So Han's out there flying around.
Yes.
Cody, you told me before the show that you haven't read Lando, but have you read any of the other comics or anything like that?
I haven't read Lando yet. I think it's an interesting idea. I haven't actually looked at any of the stuff from it besides the covers, but I have read, not up to date on, but Kanan, Last Padawan, is a really, really great book so far, at least. I'm not quite up to speed. I don't know which issue is current, but I've at least read like the first 3 or 4.
Yeah. That's almost close.
Actually,
like 5, right?
number 5 comes out next week.
Okay, so you are.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Oh, well then, there we go. That one's great. And then I've read just the Star Wars one, just like the main one.
Right.
Off and on. And Star Wars number 7. Wow.
Mm-hmm. The Obi-Wan
really
stuff.
Cool. I know you guys have probably already reviewed and covered it, but that Obi-Wan little one shot or whatever, awesome. Man, I could just read a whole comic about Obi-Wan.
Yes, I think America could do that. We need that.
Or maybe a spin-off movie.
Yes.
Kathleen Kennedy with Ewan McGregor.
I know. You try to get us on episode 7. We missed your call, but you can listen to us now, and we'll take your call now to write. That'll be one movie. So.
But yeah, really love what they're doing with the comics, and looking forward to Shattered Empire. I think that's the one that I'm really waiting on to really dig into, because I'm trying to pick and choose. I know Vader's going on, and there's been some interesting stuff I've seen from the previews of it, but I haven't gotten into that one yet.
Yeah, I'm in love with all these comics. The Leia one kind of fell a little bit for me.
Yeah.
But this Lando one is taking its place, and I think it's doing really well. And we're getting so many more comics.
Which one of the current runs is your all's favorite?
For me,
you get to choose one.
I think right now, currently, it's Star Wars. Darth Vader started off very strong. Vader. Right now, it's a little. It's. I'm not following it too much. I think it's taking a weird turn, but I'm sure it'll pay off in the end. But currently, it is Star Wars, the main series.
Yeah, I think same for me. I think Vader was right next to it, and they were concurrently kind of going in the same direction.
Yeah.
But then Vader's kind of spun off a little bit, and Star Wars is still there. We're going back. Number 8 actually comes about next week, so we'll continue what's going on with Luke and the Rebels. Because I think the last time we left off was Han Solo's wife.
Yeah. What the heck, man?
What a crazy reveal that was.
What's happening?
Didn't see that one coming.
No. What? And we haven't heard anything about it yet. Like, what's going on?
Is this why they're not maybe together in episode 7? She came back and Leia was a little bit jealous.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, no.
It's possible.
Because, you're cheating on your wife, man. What's happening here? Unless something happens, I don't know. This is not good. But no, these comics are awesome. I'm totally in love with them.
I cannot find what episode that you were last on, Cody. I cannot find it.
Oh, wow.
I have no idea. No idea. So,
but there we go.
I was even starting to think, was it even Inside the Force or was it the 21 podcast?
Might have been a 21 podcast, but
I looked on there too.
Because we talked about Star Wars, definitely. Whichever show he was on. But
weren't we talking about your all stuff?
Probably.
It was back in the
film school.
Back in the dark times before the Empire.
Gosh. Yeah, exactly. We probably, I think we were plugging our web series.
When did you guys shoot that?
We shot at that last semester of college for us.
Oh man, that was probably 2013.
That was 2013, yeah.
Yeah, like, 2013.
Like April, May?
Yeah, it was the whole semester.
Oh, the whole semester?
Yeah.
May 3rd, 2013.
So it was,
yeah, that's what I thought.
When we started the show almost. So it was either...
Could have been around January. Could have been around February, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure it was a 21 podcast, to be honest. I think you guys were part of that, but...
Very cool.
Yeah, anyway.
Yep. Good news, good stuff, great things happening all across the board.
All across the board?
Exactly. The Star Wars.
Across the board.
The Star Wars board.
So...
Starboard.
I want to... the question I had for you, Cody, which I wanted to... Because I couldn't remember if... That's why I was trying to look up when you were last on the show, because I was trying to figure out if I asked you this last time.
Lay it on me.
How do you truly... Now, you're kind of a younger generation.
Yes, I am.
How do you truly feel about the prequels and where they fall in your love of Star Wars?
That's a great question. Contrary to what is become popular, obviously, I guess I'll start here. My favorite of the Star Wars films is Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. Probably not a shock to most of you. It's probably most people's favorite. When I was actually younger, Return of the Jedi was my jam. I mean, Luke, black outfit with the green lightsaber, that was like what I wanted to be when I was younger. And then the prequels sort of came out, and I was still, fairly young at the time. Really enjoyed them. And to this day, I still really enjoy the prequels. And I actually... right now it's really popular to bash and hate on them, and a lot of people have called out George Lucas for sort of ruining childhood, and that was never the case for me. It actually made it a lot richer, and I got to go see Star Wars in a theater when I was young, and I probably saw Episode 1 at least 8 or 9 times in a theater, and to this day, I still look back and like to watch the prequels. I enjoy the story. The casting might have been a little off. Maybe it was the writing. I think the biggest mistake, when you look back and just compare the two, is probably just Lucas directing all 3 versus how in the original trilogy Lucas directed A New Hope, Kirshner directed Empire Strikes Back, and Marquand directed Return of the Jedi. And looking forward, Abrams is only directing The Force Awakens, and he was quoted in the EW article that he's really glad to be handing it off to Rian Johnson for Episode 8, and to be determined for Episode 9. So, I think they're doing it right that way, just because I think giving one person all that power is a little tricky. But the prequels I still really thoroughly enjoy. And they actually had a lot of things that they did in filmmaking that broke a lot of barriers as far as digital and, using a mixture of practical effects with CG. At the time, that wasn't the norm like it is now. And so, yeah.
Yeah, because the reason why I thought about that, asking that is, did you see that interview with Simon Pegg?
Oh, yeah.
Where
I did.
Yeah.
He's bashing
He's
it.
bashing it.
Like, really bashing it.
I mean, that's why I wanted to get, and I want to get more people's opinion as we get some more guests on here, because I was like, does it? Can you really say? I mean, if you're really a Star Wars fan, I just don't. It's hard to believe. Yes. Okay, so yes, there's some filmmaking, maybe possible aspects that you can say that, okay, it wasn't maybe well directed, it wasn't maybe well acted, or both.
Right, there's flaws like many films have.
Absolutely.
I mean, even great films. Some of my favorite films by Christopher Nolan, Interstellar, there's plot holes.
Yeah.
But that's still a great film, and I think with the prequels and Star Wars, it's just held to a different standard. Yeah. And the prequels will never sort of be on this level where, they're films that can be regarded from a filmmaking perspective, like the original trilogy. But I think a lot of that really just comes from the writing. Because you look back on it, and there was good actors. Natalie Portman is in it, and she had a really weird line in
all of it almost.
Episode 3. You're breaking my heart line. It just came off really weird, and I think that was more so just a writing thing. Mm-hmm. But those nitpicky things, I can let go.
Right. Exactly. Because
have you guys heard about the Topher Grace cut?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the infamous cut that has never been seen except for by a room full of maybe 50 or 100 people and his close friends. But apparently, actor Topher Grace, cut the prequels into. He was doing an editing experiment. And apparently he got them all 3 down to like an 80-minute or something?
Yeah, like one movie.
Something crazy short. He cut all of episode 1 out and started at the end, right at the Darth Maul fight or something crazy. I would love to see that, or I would love just to break down sort of the DVD and try to edit that, from someone who is involved in video production and editing and filmmaking. I think that'd be a great assignment, or even for like a higher leveling editing class. Give them the materials. Separate out the music and the other things, and let people try to edit together the prequels and see what they can come up with. I think there's still a lot of great story there.
Very true.
Yeah, I just my thing more so now too is something I never really mentioned, but like. The prequels, I think what you have to get by is that it was just done in a different time. Mm-hmm. Not the movie. I'm talking about shooting in the 90s, in the late 90s. I think if you can get past that, if you can just say, because I think the problem is everybody that saw it, like my age, that saw it, or my age or a little older, that saw it in the theaters, and all of a sudden, 18 years later, we got another movie. I think they all expected it to look like the original trilogy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of practical stuff. And yes, there were practical stuff in there. I remember I saw a thing like there was a picture. There's a picture of Kylo Ren out there. There's some green screen. Do you ever seen that shot where there's green screen in the background?
Yeah,
and it's like. Wait a minute. Yeah. It's not all practical.
Right.
And then I think someone showed a shot from episode 1 where they're walking out and it's the same thing. They're walking out of a ship, but then there's like blue screen everywhere. Yeah. But still, it's just the time, I think, it was just done in that time. And at that time, that's what was big in movies then. Digital sets, digital production. And of course, Lucas pushed the digital age onto us. Now it's going to be the same way. No matter how much you think it, to me, it looks like the original trilogy. It's not going to look like the original trilogy. Right. I'm going in there thinking, I don't want it to look like the original. I want to see what J.J. Abrams' vision is. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just not going to look. It's just not going to look the same. I mean, even the practical aliens, they look more real now because the technology is better. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just better. So I think you have to get past, if I just believe a lot of people that hang up on just believe that it didn't meet their expectation of the way the original trilogy looked. Yeah. Because the story is there. It's the story of Anakin Skywalker is there. And if you just are engrossed in the Star Wars story, it's part of it and it's phenomenal. It's
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it just adds to it, I think. Some people think it ruins it because you learn too much about Darth Vader. That's your prerogative, I guess. But I just love the story. I just love the story aspect of it, the character aspect of it. So I'm a character person when it comes to movies and stories, and I love falling deeper and deeper into the mythos.
Yeah.
Of a story, and Star Wars is nothing but mythos. So I love more and more and more story when it comes to Star Wars.
And we got Liam Neeson as a Jedi.
Yes,
we got Ewan McGregor as. I mean, talking about the acting possible flaws, Ewan McGregor picked up not necessarily perfect, but a pretty darn good performance following up, one of the greats, Alec Guinness, for Obi-Wan. Those parts of the prequels are when you look back and you think, they got things right, and there were parts of it that are really enjoyable. And I think Force Awakens, when I saw the first teaser, one of the first things I noticed and sort of thought was, it looks like a perfect blend of the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, based on look and how it's filmed. And I'm really excited about that because I'm excited to see a sort of new version, but that has elements from each part of the saga, because it is a complete saga, and you can't you can't ignore parts of it, but.
Yeah, I think if I were to just throw out probably one flaw, maybe two flaws of the prequels that I believe would have made them better, is I believe George probably should have let the reins go after episode 1. Let somebody else direct 2, let somebody else direct 3, like he did the original trilogy. I think they would have been received a lot better. Yeah, even if it was the same movie, I really think it would have been better. Yeah. And
I agree. Yeah.
And then I think ultimately, even though I'm okay with it, I think he might not have hit a home run with Hayden Christensen.
Right.
You
mean Hey Don't Act Again?
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I think he did what he was asked to do. Yeah. But I really feel like he probably should have got one of those named actors in there to kind of drive it a little bit better. I know Leo was rumored to be in the running. Ryan Phillippe was rumored to be in the running. So I think maybe you should have went with one of those guys, but he was always about that up and coming Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, all these people that up and coming possibles. So anyway, those are, to me, those are the only things I wish he maybe would have done differently. But that's
no, absolutely, I like the prequels. I mean, I've always kind of been on the mindset, as a kid, I view those movies with the mindset of a kid, like how I first watched it. Yeah. Loved it as a kid. Loved every part of it as a kid. Now, yes, even regardless, that I've studied film, yes, I see flaws in it. I can recognize it. I'll make fun of these movies just as much as anybody else makes fun of these movies. I've taught, I've used it for lessons in my film class that I taught last year, of how to do bad dialogue, how not to do good, pros and cons of good and bad dialogue, that kind of stuff. So using Star Wars Episode 2 as an example. So I know full well the flaws, but I am not letting that trump the first time I saw the film as a child, which is what George Lucas wanted it to be, for the next generation of kids. So he made the prequels for me.
That's right.
For Cody, for our generation. So
he made it for me.
He made it for us, man. It's our movie. So I love it. I love every bit of it. Yeah. And I'll say it, and I'll say that forever. So, and I'm sure I'll love everything that Star Wars does, because I love everything with Star Wars. That's right. That's just the way it is. I love the prequels, and again, I like the story aspect of it. But then again, it's just Star Wars. I just love Star Wars.
So before we cut this out, Cody, give me your, like what Simon Pegg did, give me your top six.
Rank all 6. Do I have to do it in 30 seconds like Simon Pegg?
No, but go from 6 to 1.
Okay. Go
backwards.
Worst to best.
Yes. Least favorite.
There
you go.
That's actually a little bit harder. No, I think I definitely know where to start. Least favorite is easily Attack of the Clones, Episode 2.
Yeah.
Moving backwards from there, this is where it kind of becomes a little hard for me, because saw episode 1 when I was a lot younger than the others, obviously because it came out sooner. So that one I do still have a fond spot for, but I'm going to go 2, Attack of the Clones, then 1, The Phantom Menace, 3, Revenge of the Sith, coming in at 5, or 4, sorry, 4, I can't even count.
No, 3.
We just said 3, Revenge of the Sith, right? So 4.
Oh, you're giving
number
by.
4.
You're
Gotcha.
Episode 4
sorry.
as the third spot.
Right. Sorry. No. I'm the worst. Number 6, Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Number 5, Attack of the Clones.
Oh, you just switched them. Did you just switch them?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm getting confused with my counting. Man, this is bad. I can't even count. And everyone's going to hear me.
That's all right.
Dude, this is what happens when I have to go worst to best. I keep just thinking of my favorite, and I can't think straight.
That's okay, man.
So, Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, Revenge of the Sith.
Gotcha.
Boom. Those 3 quickly. And then if I had to follow up and rank, the original trilogy are all going to fall in my top 3. But I would go very much A New Hope, Return of the Jedi, Emperor.
So that's exactly like Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
Is it exactly?
That is exactly. And he pretty much said the same thing you did. My least favorite was episode 2, and then episode 1.
I like
3,
his reasoning for
4,
episode 2.
6, 5.
I got a kick out of his reasoning. He said episode 2 because we thought it would be better, but it's actually in fact worse. That's why I agree. I think episode 2 is my least favorite as well.
Episode 2 is your least favorite?
Well, it's just coarse and it gets everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
That's my reasoning for episode 2.
Yeah.
But to be honest, there's a couple of badass moments in that.
I love
Django
Mace,
fight.
Oh gosh,
Django and Mace Django and Obi-Wan.
Yeah. This party's over.
I think the whole Camino the setting of Camino was really cool.
Yeah.
So, there's some parts I love about episode 2.
Yoda
sure.
fight.
I mean, the first time we see the clone troopers, it's a big moment.
Yeah.
It's a big moment. But anyway, well, Yoda wasn't fighting in that, right? No.
Episode 2. No, I'm just saying that's when we saw it.
Yeah, it was first CG.
It's like, oh my gosh, doing all that stuff. But that was cool.
Has your 6 changed at all?
Sometimes mine varies a little bit. My top is still the same. So I'll do
because I have a prequel in my top 3.
Me too. For me, it's going least favorite to most favorite. It goes Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, A New Hope, Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
because A New Hope is still great.
You're 2, 1,
2, 1, 4, 3, 6, 5.
Okay.
Because A New Hope is still great. It's just, it's just a little slow at times. It is. Pacing is off.
And see, I'm even worse than you.
Yeah.
Like I'm probably 2, then 4.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then I really liked episode 1.
Yeah.
Because I was at that age. I wasn't young like you guys really. That was my first time getting in line. Mm-hmm. Seeing a freaking Star Wars movie waiting. Yeah, I was camping out, and the Darth Maul fight blew me away. I mean, blew me away. But anyway, that's 4 on my list, and then mine goes Return, Revenge, Empire.
Yeah.
Can I just put the Darth Maul fight in my top 3?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yeah. I think Revenge of the Sith is very underrated because I think
I agree.
There's first visually that the movie's unparalleled. There's so many great. We go to see so many things with the Clone Wars, Utapau and Felucia and all these plans. I mean, it's a phenomenal scope of that movie and. The Obi-Wan Anakin fight that you've been waiting for since episode 4. I mean,
it had that impact that, at least for me, it had the impact. That,
it was. The movie lasted, or the fight lasted like 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
That was a long scene.
Oh, it was so awesome. I mean, you just did not want that thing to stop. So,
and that was Hayden's best acting was the line where he says, "I hate you" at the end. That was the best thing. I love that part of him.
Yeah,
just screaming.
He did nail that line.
Screaming, "I hate you."
Yeah, and Ewan's,
Yeah.
you're my brother. You know, it's like, whoa. I mean, that was awesome.
Just, so.
And you hit it, Cody. Ewan McGregor, by far, was probably the brightest thing of the prequels.
Oh, yeah.
By far.
I really hope Lucasfilm uses him in some way in something in a standalone. I mean,
trilogy, Obi-Wan trilogy.
It might be too much to ask for to get, a standalone Obi-Wan, but I would just love to see him, back in that Obi-Wan costume.
Yeah.
And someone else at the helm sort of dictating, the shots of, what the story is about. Because there's just, Ewan's a great actor. I've always liked him in other things and was really excited seeing him in the prequels. But I loved, going back to the Attack of the Clones, I loved that shot of Anakin marching on the temple. I mean, talk about iconic imagery. That's a great shot.
Yes.
One of the things that I'll always remember from that movie, but
yeah,
that's great.
I think Netflix show with Obi-Wan has to happen.
That's a very big possibility. That's a great point.
3 seasons.
Obi-Wan. That'd be cool because they wouldn't have to use so much of the Jedi like special effects because it's sort of keeping it under wraps and stuff.
That's a very good possibility.
I haven't thought about that. I just thought about
they got to do it.
Wow.
That is a very good possibility, actually. Yeah, I love it.
All right.
Okay, so thank you, Cody, for joining us on this episode.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was awesome. We're gonna do a quick canon thing, just real brief. But I do want to throw out here that we were wrong on both, Cody. You guys were on KooCast.
Is KooCast really?
It was KooCast episode 7 in February of 2013 is when. So Cody, you actually have it. This is your inaugural debut on Inside the Force.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Wow. Well, it's an honor to
because we did talk Star Wars though. It says right here we did talk Star Wars a lot. Then
I knew it was Star Wars related.
Yeah. It was.
Okay.
But that was early on when we didn't even know the EU stuff hadn't been announced yet.
Yeah.
I think episode 7 was the only thing announced, right?
The merger and all that stuff.
Actually, was it? I guess it was.
It had to.
Yeah. So anyway, do a little quick canon thing for our next character, and then we'll call it a wrap.
Yep, really quick. Profiling the next character in the Ultimate Star Wars book by DK Publishing. This is actually very topical. This character is the one and only Sheev Palpatine. Sheev. Good old Sheev. How do you feel about Sheev Palpatine, Cody?
Sheev is... Sheev kind of gives me the willies when I first heard the first name, but Palpatine's he's a cool guy.
Yeah, old Sheev, just doing his thing. So Sheev Palpatine, his appearances, as you all know, episodes 1, 2, Clone Wars, episodes 3, 5, and episode 6. Species human, homeworld Naboo, affiliation Galactic Republic, Order of the Sith, and Galactic Empire. The profile here, it's a double spread thing on the book. I mean, it just goes through the whole movies kind of thing. One thing that really actually thought was interesting, because on the right here it has his like brief timeline kind of thing. Something here that I thought was interesting. It talks about his fight with Mace Windu and the Battle of Coruscant, that kind of thing. Or actually, Order 66. So it says, I'll just read this. A Jedi task force learns that Palpatine is a Sith Lord and tries to capture him. Palpatine kills them, but his own Force lightning leaves him disfigured. And that reminded me about what we've been talking about a lot early on in this show, early episodes, about how that fight with Palpatine, there was always a debate whether or not Palpatine used the Force lightning. Did it really disfigure him? Or is it true that the rumor where he continually, his appearance continually became that way because of how he used the dark side? He just used the Force to make him look younger and more healthy. But he allowed himself to look how he really is, to look disfigured, and just blame it on the Force.
To make it blame it on the Jedi.
Yeah, blame it on the Jedi. This here, since this book is canon, confirms the fact. I'm holding to this. This is canon.
Yes,
that
is canon.
The Force lightning actually disfigured him. Yeah, disfigured him. So it was not the Force.
That's good that you read that, because I've been under the assumption this whole time that
there it is. People may not know that debate, but that used to be a pretty big debate.
See, that goes to show you again that changes, does it not? Kind of the way you watch episode 6 now. Because when you see him and you see his face, in your mind now how he got that way.
Yeah.
And it was because of the Force lightning.
No question now.
It wasn't just the dark side ripping his... Because isn't that the rumor right now that's
Luke?
happening to Luke?
Yeah. Why his face...
Why he's disfigured?
Some people were saying that might be him. He might be disfigured, face. Because of
the Force is so much on him, and maybe the dark side, maybe his... Yeah. Brush with the dark side in episode 6 possibly starting to disfigure him.
That was one of the rumors, but probably not.
He can't disfigure Mark Hamill's face, man.
No.
What a face he's got.
what a visage he's got. Yeah,
and
that is crazy though. You learn some. I mean, man, because that question has sort of been like a back and forth in my head of like,
yes, and it goes a little bit on the that Luke picture now too. It's like, what about all those rumors that
his face
he's robotic or he's a cyborg or who's the cyborg now? Because there's got to be something, right? There's that art of that cyborg kind of character holding the Vader,
and that came out with everything else that's come through pretty much. So who is that? Is it Kylo Ren? Does it become that? I don't know.
Possible.
Maybe it's under his face, under his skin. I don't know.
That's possible.
Good question. So
anyway,
that's it. That's Sheev Palpatine for you.
Good tidbits there. Go get that book, everybody. If you're a Star Wars fan, Ultimate Star Wars from DK. There's another. I think. I hate to say it because I'm going to probably mess it up, but they were talking about at Comic-Con a new DK kind of encyclopedia book that's coming. Yeah. But I'm sure this book will be updated probably on a yearly basis. I'm assuming with all the stuff that's coming out, and all the, that book is just going to be like, actually, probably they'll come out with like maybe volume 2 or something like that. It's like volume after volume of, seasons of Rebels coming. Are you watching Rebels, Cody?
Yes, I am. I am current with Rebels, and my goodness, the premiere for season 2. Holy cow!
Vader. Yeah. Oh man, yes.
Oh man,
I saw that at Celebration, and that was my whole trip, man. That was my goal. The whole trip was I had to see the Siege of Lothal, and man, that is electric in there. Everybody's going flipping out when Vader was in there. That's awesome. Yeah. All right, so we will have Cody back on here very shortly, I'm sure. Some great opinions and insight on the news. Thanks, Cody, for joining us on this episode.
Well, it was an honor for my first episode on Inside the Force. So,
whenever you get back in town, we'll get you in here live. Yeah, sit with us around the podcast table.
Yep,
live and in color.
Yeah, that's right. All right, guys, InsideTheForce.com. You can go there and listen to all the other episodes. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. And, of course, you can subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or TuneIn Radio. Cody, you got Twitter, right?
I do. It is at Cody, C-O-D-Y, Guiler, G-U-I-L-E-R.
Oh, you got one of those easy ones.
At Cody Guiler.
My name.
Just the name.
Yeah.
At my name.
No one's got yours. No one took your name.
Yeah, no one took your name. There was already a David Cottingham. So I had mine's D Cottingham 21. Casey's, of course, is Kryptonian 1138, which is still the best username out there, I think. Kind of got both.
Best of both worlds, man.
All right, so we appreciate everybody listening and checking us out. For Casey Cooley.
Here we go. I know you would. I can feel your anger. Gives you focus. Makes you stronger. So there you go.
Episode 3, baby.
Good old Sheev from the prequels. Good old Sheev up to his old antics.
All right, so for Cody Guiler.
Yes.
Casey Cooley.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm David Cottingham, and may the Force be with you.
This has been a production of the 21 Network. For more great podcasts, visit 21network.com. To view additional content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/21network. Follow us on Twitter at 21network for the latest news and updates. The 21 Network, for the fan and all of us.